pretty much.
Yeah, I guess it would just be the Shard would be the other timing with the Grim. It's cool. I mean, they have some cool combos with it.
They do. I feel it's okay. I don't think it's like anything special against the like Lina can help out, Medusa can help out with killing the Phantom. In theory, it works well. I think what panel talked about, I guess they were deciding whether that's going to be like a Disruptor. Abba decided to go with the Grimstroke to have a bit, like, because Disruptor is still a very weak hero. Like, even if you like lock him down, if Tidehunter has like one item, if he has a hood, for example, like you still don't die. Ghost?
He's just chilling. Hoping to get it, but wasn't able to.
They couldn't see him there because he's a ghost.
Yep.
There
Very
we go.
nicely done.
And yeah, looking at Boom's draft, it's slow. It's very slow. It's Medusa, Tidehunter. Tidehunter compared to other offlaners is just way too slow. Like he doesn't join fight. Like comparing him to Dragonite, comparing him to Mars. Like these heroes want to get like one item and take a fight. Tidehunter wants to chill and get some farm.
Yeah, it's just very immobile. Like Tide and Deuce on the same lineup overall, it's just like wherever they are, that's where the fight is going to be, right? Like you know that these heroes are not going to like traverse across the map, constantly could make moves all over the place. No, it's like where they are is where the action's going to be. Tim's? Okay, I thought he was going to get Meld hit and eat a bit of damage, but Ghost used it earlier. Yeah, like other thing about the Tide too is he is playing into Meld. Meld hurts, man. Like Tide is not he's a tanky hero, but when you look at his actual armor, it is quite lackluster, especially early on.
He started with Ring of Protection, which I really like, and also started with the stick, so he knows what's gonna be problem in the laning stage. But I still feel that they should win this lane. X-Nova?
X-Nova, look at him go. Yeah, agreed. I like that he went for the Gush, though. I think this is actually cool, because look, it just prevents, since he saw Ghost went for Meld, it prevents him from like walking up and getting CS well, also from getting melded. Kind of cool.
I'm not saying that they should like stomp this lane or anything, but I feel like they have more kill threat, and like once you get to start getting levels on Tidehunter, you will be like getting, and here we go, Tim's actually gets the first blood, and they're still not done. Like they could potentially turn around. Grimstroke buying a healing salve, Tim's using healing salve on his offlaner, so that's gonna be some extra value.
Yep. Nicely done so far. I used to like this lane a lot because of the double damage reduction. It's actually pretty obnoxious versus most carries. You get Anchor Smash, you get Fade Bolt. Looking at mid right now, there's some big bullying coming on. Xamnis actually gets the pull onto Alina, something not too expected. There is a bottle and Fairy Fire. Yopaj will be okay, also getting himself that Water Rune. Xamnis will be able to get his own.
Bottom lane, Bane plus Medusa. This is not a killer lane, but they might like potentially get a trade kill on Shaman. I don't think Dragonite dies in this lane until there's some kind of rotation, because he's just way too tanky. Damage from Medusa and Bane is just not enough to munch through the tankiness of him.
Yeah, looks like the mid and the it's mostly just the bottom lane. The bottom is mostly like the boring lane, where I feel like it's just going to be like Bane and Shaman kind of do same thing of they can trade really well with each other. And Dusa tanks and going to be able to farm. Same thing for DK. Maybe DK will get a couple extra denies because of the stun into deny off of Dusa, but it depends on where Kaka is. Mid, I think, is going to be the biggest disparity, where Yopaj should just get a big advantage over Somnus. And top's the fun lane. I mean, top is the one where they're both just duking it out.
Yeah, top's definitely the lane to watch. Mid lane, it's getting pinged out. They know that there is going to be a rotation, so Kaka already lurking around the mid lane trying to make something happen.
Okay. Does mean that he's going to... I mean, DK's not going to die, like you mentioned, so he knows that this move is available for himself, but does mean that the Deuce is going to just completely free farm down there without any pressure of anything from Kaka. If they get Yopaj, it's worth it. If they don't, it's just kind of a wasted move from Kaka. And they'll scan.
Still chilling.
Yeah, he knows though. Like he's gone too long. The scan comes out, catches right on top of him. And they're rotating now. Look at Scam.
Kaka underneath the scan.
They might bait him though. Like Scam is walking through, but Kaka sees him with the ward. And yeah, Kaka's like, okay, I can't actually go for this.
It's Shaman.
You can mess with him on the rune though.
This hero is so slow. And we can see Scam guarding the rune for Lina bottom. You mentioned that the other day, that people do tend to rotate mid lane relatively early on, not just for the runes, but also like 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, we see a lot of these rotations, and the Chalice putting in some work on Medusa. Every single time he gets close on top of her, Dragon Tail stun, he feels very safe. Started with Boots of Speed just to be able to close the gap and get that initial stun.
Actually, I really like that he went for boots. It's like his last hits, maybe they get slowed down a little because of his base damage and all that, but now he's able to actually utilize the stun and to walk back and deny. And with the way that Kaka's forcing the Bane out of the lane, it's working nicely for him. I mean, like we said, he can't die or anything like that, but it's just about how much he can prevent from Jackie from getting with these boots to stun and breathe fire and whatnot.
Kaka. Healing salve on a mid lane, gets the deny. Yopaj was playing very aggressive, using Glyph as well, just to try to put in a bit more pressure on Somnus. But yeah, Kaka. That's the good side of having the tanky offlaner like a Dragon Knight, because you can leave him alone and he's still not gonna suffer.
Yeah, let's see if Tims looks to do similar. I mean, FBZ has to be a little bit more careful because he is into this TA and this Grim, but if you see from the itemization, FBZ's gone for the Helm of Iron Will. So he actually has enough tankiness even versus Meld and Blightstone and whatnot that he can be left alone, and we'll probably see Tims do the same thing that we see with the repaid from the bottom from Kaka. Mid, we see Somnus. He's trying to find his level 6. They're trying to prevent that. Yopaj is going to get his Laguna online. Somnus starts farming a small camp. Also has some stacks available in his jungle. I have seen the Grimstroke. We see X-Nova even preparing more at the moment right now. Same thing for Kaka. They're double stacking.
They could potentially evade those stacks.
They can.
Boom, because they have Tidehunter.
Somnus, he's not 6 still. You see Yopaj, he's trying to get the stun. Can't quite.
If that stun connects, I think he's dead.
I think so. Another salve on the Somnus, but now with Catapult, they killed the enemy siege. Yopaj has an illusion rune too. 3 heroes around for RNG to try to hold on to this tower. They're gonna go for a kill. Yopaj pulls the illusion. We'll get the Ink Squall connection anyway, and they do have the grab from Kaka, but ooh, bit of a slip up there from Somnus.
They got the kill. He gets the last hit. I think it's worth it in the end. I mean, they were playing around Somnus quite a lot. 2 healing salves already used, both supports rotating just to keep him in the game. Lina, one of those heroes that just dominate pretty much every single matchup that she plays into, and it always feels good to kill Lina just to slow her down, because her itemization most likely gonna be like Boots of Travel, BKB. You want to hit the certain timings. You want to play a bit more aggressive in this game because you have Tidehunter and Medusa, so you need to create some space.
Absolutely. I think he needs to be cautious though, because there's a lot of ways to get on top of him this game. The DK and the Storm. DK, they're going to be gunning for Yopaj throughout all this, so it's not an easy game for him by any means until he does get, in particular, that BKB up. It does feel like it's going to be a little bit tough. Yeah, lots of emphasis put on mid because they can just have, you know, Ghost alone, DK alone bottom. Some really good identification of what to do from RNG. As now Ghost just jungling it up. We see that triple camp about to be worked on from him.
Somnus,
and we are seeing Somnus get active.
Yeah, Somnus wants to get something done. Scam, he looks pretty dead. Trying to use the Nightmare. But Dragon Knight will come in, use a stun, and they will give last hit to Somnus. It's very important to just give those last hits every single time you can to Storm Spirit. I don't know, just Storm, even after the nerfs, the hero just still feels bonkers. It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean,
Null Tali is our problem.
Yeah. It's an early game, his damage is quite a lot less. It adds up, right? Like even minus 10 damage when you're level 7, if you did max overload or something like that, it will add up, but a lot of times I'm seeing these guys, they max static remnant, and then once you get like the nose online, it'll end up being similar, but yeah, small nerfs, small needed nerfs.
What do you think Tide decided to go for Helm of the Dominator this game?
I think he just wanted, it's like a double benefit of where their lineup is all about grouping up. So it's going to be really nice when he's with the Dusa. And then also he just needed armor, right, in the lane versus the TA. The Helm was just a natural pickup. The Helm of Iron Will, that is, before the Dominator.
He also has neutral items, so that's going to be extra 4 armor coming out from that. So we're going to be extremely tanky. RNG's lineup is super strong at snowballing. Like once they get like Deso, Shaman Wards, Dragonite, Storm Spirit zipping in, picking people off, they have the Roche taking potential as well. It could be scary potentially for Boom because they have Medusa Tide, they misuse Ravage, they misuse Stone Gaze, and there's gonna be a lot of problems for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Or they just like, they move around the map a little bit wrong, right? And then they're kind of stuck in that place because Tide and Dusa is so immobile that perhaps this like DK and the Shadow Shaman, the way they're able to push lanes out and push objectives, it's like they have to be really smart around how they pick and choose their fights, Boom. They have the strong team fight, but it's just slow to get into those positions and to move around the map. It's RNG. Starting to poke on mid with Chalice. He has the ult available, he's waiting. We will see Ghost start to work on these huge stacks that we were mentioning from earlier on the triangle side too. Heart Camp cleaned up, and onto Ancients. We'll have a very early Tried's Dragonlance, pretty standard timing, 10 minutes.
Oh, so gonna stack it even one more time. He cleared the stacks already to the top part of the jungle, and now level 9, 10 minutes in. He's gonna be level 10, 10 minutes in after clearing this stack.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of just like sharing resources and everything, right? As we see Chalice playing aggressive onto Schem. We'll have backup from the Storm with the Power Rune as well. He has a haste, so he can actually jog himself back toward the lane. And with this Grim, he's actually just soaking mid in the meanwhile while they're getting stuff done. So yeah, RNG, a really strong early game here. First 10 minutes looking fresh, 2K lead. And we do watch Jackie now work on his own stacks, of course, on the Dusa, but he is quite behind the TA. Level 7, no Dragonlance done. TA, as we mentioned, almost 11 actually, with Dragonlance and close to at least 1.
They still have a Catapult, which is gonna die. Schem, no Fiend's Grip yet. They will try to go for the Dragon Knight. Ravage is available. They're just gonna toss him back, and yeah, big kill. This is what they need.
From Tims.
Yeah,
I
they don't necessarily need to take like full 5-on-5 engagements. They need to get some pickoffs, possibly hold Ravage as long as they can, just to have something to play with. Because if Ravage is down, they might not have what it takes. And we see the rotations to the bottom. Kaka dropping wards.
Really really optimistic wards. It's a tier 2 this early with Glyph available. I guess they were trying to maybe get a kill out of it also. Into maybe just like force some reaction. They will force the reaction, but yeah, no wards now. So at least 2 minutes until they'll potentially go for a rush. I think they're probably waiting for Deso on TA before they force rush on anyway, but...
You could see Tims pinging it out. He was like, well, this is where I'm gonna use my telekinesis, land Dragonite down, and we will go for the LSA. Smoke from RNG. Their pickoff potential is insane. There's no, like you would expect Medusa to be there because it's 12 minutes in. So they set up a ward and they don't find anything.
He just actually finished up all the stacks, so it's good timing there for Boom for him to actually get that done. And he's now up to that 9.5 after clearing, so he's maybe pretty close with the TA after finishing all that.
Interesting build from Yopaj. He went phase boots instead of boots of travel. I guess he wanted to have a bit more armor against Meld and also like Shaman, Dragonite once they jump him. And it also gives him a bit more momentum in terms of getting the BKB. It's 1,000 gold less. So maybe he thinks he needs to be a bit more active with this type of a build.
I haven't seen phase boots on Lina in ages. It's really interesting. A little bit of extra damage and stuff, but yeah, his mobility is gonna be completely stunted. But I guess maybe like we were saying too, it's like their lineup isn't about mobility. It's all about like playing around the Dusa and all that, so maybe looking to play on that. And
yeah, it makes more sense because look at the heroes that they got, like Rubik, Bane. Sure, Bane can set things up with the Nightmare Fiend's Grip on the side lanes, but it's all about that 5-on-5. Have Tidehunter, have Big Medusa, unkillable. Chalice, he already knows what he wants to go for this game. It's gonna be Blink Shard. He's gonna show his Blink. So it seems like they don't want to do anything with the Blink. There's not going to be any smoke action. Going for Shard, BKB, and Heaven's Halberd. Heaven's Halberd just too good of an item against Medusa.
Yeah, almost gets caught. That was super close. Chalice, they do have the Centaur Stomp. They have the Fiend's Grip as well. He actually stuns the Centaur. Too close to tower now. Won't be able to actually get the grab from Schem. No boots on the Bane yet.
Has Windlace, double Fluffy Hat, full Magic Wand, 1200 HP. super tanky, but in terms of closing the gap, he has issues.
This ward is going to stay alive a long time for RNG. That's one nice thing with that smoke. Even though they didn't get the catch onto the Dusa, they did get this ward down, and they also got the sentry to block Ancients. So now Jackie's going to be aware of that. He's going to walk over and be like, my Ancients are blocked. He pings it. He's sad. Pings it again. And yeah, they have full vision and full information of now where 2 heroes are in Boom. So they see Yopaj is alone, and they also see that FBZ is alone. And yeah, we see the Phantom now. As you see, you know, silence the whole time, no Kraken available. That's why it's so good versus Tidehunter.
Especially with Shaman, like holding him, controlling him, and now they're trying to make a rotation in a triangle. This is going to be a relatively easy pick-off. Somnus going in. Nightmare Save's going to keep him alive a little bit, and they will get the Chalice kill in return.
I think that's actually really nice.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's really worth it for Boom. The big pickup. And that's was I believe he used DK form a little bit before that, but yeah, DK form when he respawns will be on cooldown for like a minute or so.
So double Fluffy Hat, Magic Wand, keeping Bane alive enough so they can just get a return kill. Sometimes like all these things that you decide to do in a game, they really matter.
Ooh, Kaka. We'll put a sentry down, sees the obs, but he's spotted as well. Look at that rally. Look at it go.
Ravage. They can't. If it was like 13, 12 minutes in, I think he would go for it. But at this point of the game, he can't just afford to use Ravage like that because RNG would run at them.
And they would either run at them or go into Roche, right? Like, you have to be very careful in these next few moments how you do Ravage, because I think the TA's Deso is done, so they should be pretty wary that Deso is going to be done any moment now, too, because she's just been absolutely free-farming, almost 200 last hits on Ghost. So yeah, it's crucial that they don't waste the cooldown. Mid. Look for Chalice again, but now it's a level 3 lift, so the pullback actually not in time to get it lined up with the Light Strike Array. Don't know if they kill him anyway there. There's a lot of backup could have actually turned on them.
He's a bit too tanky. Also, Grimstroke does have a shard, so it's going to be a dispel mechanic against Ravage, against LSA, pretty much anything that they got. It's going to work so well. So using it on either Somnus, on Dragonite, that's going to jump in. A lot of value coming out from that. Kaka. Look at him farming near the enemy tier 2 tower as Shadow Shaman.
I like it.
No real backup.
I like that he's being a bit greedy and farming, especially like he's 4, but also there is a talent in this game that can really change things also is the Hex Breaks at level 20. This is talking way later, but versus Tidehunter, that's a talent that can just literally win you the game, as we see them trying to force a Roche, so maybe trying to deny it away from RNG. But RNG all at the ready. This is not an easy force here from Boom.
Still not enough in damage department to just sneak Roche in front of them. There was also a trap, so they killed the trap. They planted down the center ward. You know something is up. You know that they are possibly trying to go for this type of a kill. Jackie still doesn't have a big item. Once he gets that Manta style, he's going to be able to like get the trap slow, kill the Phantom easily, and also get rid of the Breathe Fire damage reduction.
Yeah. See, FBZ actually loses his Dominator creep. He actually gives it up and it just sits in the Fireball and then gets stunned. So it does need to find a new creep. A lot of different good options for him. I actually feel like the Ogre Ice Armor could be really nice versus TA in this game in particular. But we'll see what he ends up looking for. He just needs a new creep. As right now, smoked up, looking to resecure their jungle. Right now, no vision over there, so Scam trying to get at least one ward out.
This is why we say Tidehunter is slow. They're gonna go in. Oh, BKB popped immediately. Somnus, like he's not messing around. There's a grip available if they want to go for it. He pops the Ravage in the end, but there is no follow-up whatsoever. Yopaj also gets the BKB, deletes Kaka, finally feeds grip, comes onto the Chalice. Where's the follow-up damage, Jackie boys? Trying to reset the fight with the Stone Gaze, but yeah, there's just gonna be a trade. I'm a bit surprised that Somnus popped the BKB immediately, because he did have Inkswell on top of him.
And they also had the Phantom already on the Tide too, so maybe he just thought maybe they thought they was baiting them, because they didn't see anything either. Maybe he thought like on high ground the Lina was right there, so just wanted to be super careful. But now, no Stone Gaze. No Ravage available. And looking at RNG, they're not really too cooldown dependent. They could look to force that Roche. With Shadow Shaman wards, with Meld,
this is big.
it's gonna die so fast.
I've always been a fan of this. Rubik stealing Wraith Fire with Fate Bolt and Anchor Smash. Like, if they can get these things on top of someone, like, you actually don't deal damage. Like, you deal 10% damage.
It's also a ridiculous amount of burst damage if he's able to get. But yeah, definitely agree. As Ghost starts to make his way down, we see the smoke, and yeah, this Roche is going to be a bit tough for Boom, it feels like, to contest. Let's see. Wait for the creep to come in. And they're going to jump. Tims, another BKB used from Somnus. No funny business. Chalice finds a secondary. Easy cleanups. FBZ, as we said, no Ravage. They're sticking on him. Kaka hexes the illusion. Buyback from Tims. Forces all of RNG into a bit of a retreat. 10 seconds until Dragon Form on Chalice.
Yeah, Tims was a little bit too aggressive, maybe. He went in and stole the trap from Templar Assassin, but Somnus not hesitating at all, going in with his 8-second BKB and double damage, and now Deso, Shaman wards, Fireball inside the pit. They caught Tims. If they can kill Tims, like, they're gonna shut him down completely. Like, his item progression is gonna be very difficult. We can see still Tidehunter, you know, he's tanky, he has this damage reduction, he has extra armor coming out from that helm, but still, they could kill him. They can burst him. Somnus picks up the Region Rune, will continue to farm up in the triangle, and Tims, yeah, that was a bit too aggressive. Maybe he was relying on, I don't know, a Nightmare save or something, but he would still get killed.
Yeah, he just, I mean, trying to poke and prod, trying to slow them down, because he knows, like, we have no Ravage, we have no way to actually take this fight, but yeah, gets caught, and that's painful. I mean, he's below the 5 position on the side of RNG. Kaka gets a grab onto Scam. Jackie's in the area. Scam's alive. He actually gets the Fiend's Grip turned onto Ghost. This is a 2v5, now a 1v5. Scam surviving because of Jackie with that stuff.
He has this. He's got this. I think Ghost... Oh, never mind. Just kidding. It was close. He almost got... nothing out of it. Maybe one CS on the neutral creep camp.
I'm surprised Tims actually restole, because he had Dragon Tail. He had one of the better abilities I feel like he could have gotten this game, and he steals a Meld.
I think he wants the trap, just to set things up, have a bit more vision. He's not aiming for refraction. Good thing is he found the big boy Philly, so even after that buyback, he's still gonna get some extra gold Chalice. Trying to go for Blink Initiation with the Ink Scroll on top of him. FBZ maybe a bit too tanky at the moment to be killed.
So good time bought for Boom to get themselves a little bit of more map control, get their cooldowns back on, but RNG doesn't really feel like it hurt them too much. Just continued to farm up the map. Somnus going back for the Witchblade, as we've seen a couple times now on these Storm Spirits, and Chalice is still getting really good farm, almost a BKB done. So, you know, a bit of a wasted Aegis from their over-aggression, but does feel like they're still in an okay spot. But Boom, they're trying to force something. Trying to get something else with this Ravage. Somnus, they're just gonna use it on him, no funny business.
I don't mind that. Fiend's Grip was not available. Getting the Nightmare could be a bit problematic. Yopash going for Witchblade.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I don't think I've ever seen this type of a build on Lina. I know that people do love to have Witchblade from Intelligence Hero from mid lane to be able to deal with the Templar Assassin's Refraction. True Strike, not so valuable. Like, there's no real mischance, but yeah, it does amplify the damage. We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, I mean, I've when I saw it on the Storms picked up first, I was very...
It's like, you were like, oh, what the hell is that?
Kind of doubtful at first. I was like, what is this? But kind of cool, because as the game builds up, it gets better and better. So, I mean, it's always just a really good item. It's like the old... I'm not even going to use this comparison anymore, actually, but it's like we used to talk about Blade Mail when it was broken ages ago. Yeah, and the stats on it and everything it gives are actually phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if it works. It's definitely going to be cool, even versus a tanky DK. But RNG...
So he gets extra armor from that. He gets extra armor from the phase boots. I think that's the whole plan, just to be able to get all these small items early on to be able to fight RNG back. Because RNG, they want to keep this pressure going. They know that there is no Ravage, so every single time it's down, they will use the opportunity. Dropping the ward and sentry behind tier 1 tower just to have a little bit more vision.
They seem to know, though. Boom is in very good position to try to turn this FBZ. He's getting focused. The ward trap onto the Lina. Somnus is going into, but he's gripped. Somnus full grip. The Stone Gaze also catches Kaka. And FBZ actually survives. X-Nova also just walks in and gets taken out.
Yopaj, he's just chilling between the orange and the green Shaman wards. They trapped him completely. Overextended a little bit. I think, you know, it's a good plan, but there's still a tier 1 tower, and just fighting into Medusa. If Medusa gets the ulti off, you need to reset. You can't just stand there and take a fight. And Jackie, he's been silently farming. He's very close to finishing off Scotty. Scotty against Dragonite and Templar Assassin, even though it did get nerfed in terms of the move speed slow and the range heroes from 50 to 40%. It's still super strong item.
It's in any way like even better, I would say, for like a Dusa, because like I'm just saying like as a Dusa versus heroes that are like hitting back against you, because now it's even more attack speed slow, so it would help him like hold his ground and fight versus the TA if it ends up becoming that kind of scenario. Yeah, Jackie's huge. Scotty picked up, now Ravage is back up too. Winning a fight without Ravage is huge for Boom, because now the next upcoming fight they'll have it ready. And yeah, the way that the fight kicked off too, right, was a bit scary. Like Yopaj's trapped and everything, but he is tanky. As we said, these little items adding up. Also a plate mail. So 32 armor on this Lina. Hey, it's pretty nuts.
He knows, he understands where the damage is coming from. Smoke did get scouted. FBZ gets Ravage off, but Templar Assassin putting in some work on the Tidehunter pops DD, pops the BKB and needs to fall back a little bit. Still, Medusa very strong, standing her ground. Somnus needs to get out of the trouble. Ghost, do they have any kind of reveal? Tim's alone. Some work, but yeah, Jackie seems like he's gonna get isolated and he's gonna drop, so he's gonna... FBZ, one buyback from X-Nova.
Yeah, and back the other way it goes quickly. They completely chain CC'd Yopaj. Even though he's got the 32 armor, as we mentioned right before it, walking up into this high ground, gets chain stunned from the Inkswan, I think the Vortex from Somnus, and yeah, they kill him. And then Jackie's just completely isolated. A great fight from RNG, even though it's the one that Boom this time is the one forcing with a Blink Ravage.
See, it seems like they take better fights when they don't have Ravage.
Yeah. Like Ghost was able to get the BKB off and reset, and you see, yeah, look at Yopaj. He's DD, he's beating on him, but gets hexed. It doesn't have time to get the BKB off, gets comboed.
It's very difficult. Sometimes we see like these BKBs usages for a casual viewer, like, why the hell did he pop a BKB? But sometimes you just have to do it, because otherwise you get hexed, you get stunned, and then you're like, well, why didn't he use a BKB? It's very, very easy to judge. So sometimes popping a BKB 1 second or 2 seconds prematurely might actually do a lot more. Tidehunter going for a BKB. Do you think it's mostly because he's playing into like Shaman and also Grimstroke, just to be able to deal with the Phantom?
Yeah, I think the Phantom is gonna, he knows it's gonna start causing him some problems. And there is just a ton of like chain stun and stuff too. It's like, so I think it'll be necessary, as I think we've also gonna see like eventually TA Shard, all these little things that are gonna just start being really annoying for him. I think it's a fine pickup.
The good old Shadow Amulet setup from Bane.
He's got it? Okay.
He's got it. He also planted the vision near the tier 2 tower, so that's gonna be easy way to set things up.
Level 18, Chalice finishes his up. How's our Storm? Somnus almost 18. Jackie soon to hit level 20. We didn't really get to talk about his talents, but he did take attack speed and split shot penalty. We do have Tim's with a stolen Hex. This could be huge. That's one of those that could really like, change everything. You're playing versus a Storm Spirit and actually get some huge catch there coming out.
There's so many good spells to steal. It's a godly Rubik game. Whether you steal anything from Dragon Knight, Grimstroke, Shaman, it feels really well.
Totally agreed. Trying to do some.
We don't disagree on a lot of stuff. Like you and me, you know, we play Dota together all the time. We have like similar views on how the game should be played. So expect a lot of expect we could both be wrong, but we can agree on being wrong. For now, FBZ holding that Alpha Wolf creep, scouting things out, a little bit of extra damage.
They're gonna kill it. Chalice says no, plus 100. as he's getting close to Halberd. So big item pickup also for him. It's going to be amazing versus the Medusa and even versus Lina. See the smoke, RNG, ready to fight.
Chalice is massive on Dragon Knight, level 18 BKB.
Look at Scam. You said it. He's chilling in the shadow. I mean,
hey, no. Forcing a BKB out of early on Somnus. I think they're okay with that. Roshan is there. This new Shard of Dragon Knight just allows him to stay on top of the network. He did have problems with dealing damage. He's like, oh, I'm gonna blink in and stun people, but what happens next? Like, you just didn't have a follow-up damage. You also had a little bit of problem pushing the wave if you're not in dragon form. Boom, even with 4 people, they're still putting in some work on tier 3 tower.
They were trying to force some type of issue back because they knew that RNG was on their side. Now Roche is back up though. Shaman wards plus this Deso kill it incredibly fast.
Dead.
It's just gone. So that's the shard we were mentioning for the TA. So these little silences are going to be really annoying in the traps too.
It's very difficult for Bane to play the game right now because he's playing.
He passed it to Somnus. So okay.
I've seen Storm Spirits lately just buying the shard for themselves.
It is nice. I mean, it does give your allies all those overload instances too, which can be really strong.
Ooh, this is a big one. Ags.
Ags.
If they get like Ags into just a couple of hits from Templar Assassin, Psyblades, possibly a Fireball, this could be extremely deadly.
Or the combo, because he's Inkswelled every fight, right? If he's Inkswelled into like a 2-3 man pull into the Inkswell catching them, it's pretty much a Ravage. So yeah, eyes on Somnus for who he's going to catch. And yeah, Boom's still positioned in this area. As we said, they're not mobile. So like if they're in an area, that's the area that they're claiming. They have to TP as a unit. Like all of them have to TP together if they want to look to fight on a different spot. Because they need every single one. They need the Tide and the Medusa every time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is a one big unit coming out from Boom. They're holding hands together, thinking about whether they want to go for the high ground. One ward is already placed deep inside RNG's base, so they can see possibly a smoke coming out from them as well.
Yep. Also, I see these new items that were picked up. Ghost just picked up a full Silver Edge on the TA, so I'm not sure. I think they saw it. I think they even saw him use it right there. So they have to be careful as Somnus will find himself a easy kill onto the Bane.
There's some beef.
Very liberal.
He already used, because after he used the first one, he's like, whatever. My BKB is working, I'm gonna keep using it. And every single time I see Bane, I'm gonna go for him.
It's working, for sure. 9k lead. Having themselves a really good grip in the game where it does feel like the Deuce is gonna have her work really cut out for her. Like I'm really interested in Yopaj's build, how it's going to end up developing, how it's going to end up working, because he's gone for all these like different style small items for this armor. But yeah, we'll see if it ends up working, because they're continuing to fall further and further behind versus this TA.
And now adjusting his item build, he was thinking about getting the Shiva's Guard after those like 2 initiations on him with Shadow Shaman and Storm. He's going for Linken's. Unfortunately, Aghanims on Storm does not proc Linken's, so that's going to be one issue for him.
He'll at least protect himself versus the instant, right? Because that's what caught him last time was Kaka with the instant hacks into Shackles. Perhaps that's the biggest thing he's focusing on. But yeah, does have to watch out.
Tower is under attack.
How's Tim's doing? We were talking about his net worth for a while and that he was hanging on to the Philly. He's just got Blink and 3k gold.
He had Lotus Orb queued up.
Still does.
Last time I checked. I mean, it's a great Lotus Orb game against Shaman, Grimstroke, Dragon Knight, removing the silences as well. We'll be able to blink out.
Yep. Just test the waters a little bit. They put the scan up there. He still has Aegis for 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Chalice
Kaka has BKB done, by the way. That's going to be problematic, too. A BKB Shadow Shaman, only thing you really would have to worry about is like him getting Fiend's Grip or a Stone Gaze, I guess. It's not on him right now, but he's going to deliver it on the courier in a moment. So yeah, he's going to be able to freely grab a lot of heroes.
That's big. You also talked
Yeah.
about level 20 talent, still far away from it because we haven't seen much fighting, and also Shaman needs to be focused in the fight. So level 20 talent breaks, they do have a break mechanic with that Silver Edge from Ghost, so Tidehunter needs to be careful. Jackie.
Jackie shows his face.
Yeah, some of these fights, like, look at that. Ghost, get a couple of right clicks, Jackie Boys hits him back, and they hide underneath. There is Dragonite stun. Kaka pops the BKB, gets the Hex off, and he's trapped.
That's a dead Dusa.
Jackie is out of mana completely. He's completely isolated, and once again, Storm just going for Skem. Yopaj, can they chase more? Seems like that's just gonna be it for now. Yopaj pops a BKB, because he's Lincoln's got procced.
Yeah, and I think that in that fight too, X-Nova, if I'm not mistaken, he got the Soulbind on both the Lina and the Tide, and then they're just stuck on low ground, unable to even jump in. No blink on Tide, he can't jump in because of that Soulbind, so can't help the Dusa. Now, 55 seconds. A beautiful jump. They just committed everything, right? Like Kaka just blink, hack, shackles, dropped wards. They threw every single spell onto him, while X-Nova, the clutch one, catches the backline.
Aegis just expired. They're gonna go and finish off these barracks. Deso plus overtime then from Dragonite. Gonna be more than enough. Medusa still dead for 30 seconds. Let's see if RNG wants to poke, maybe deal some damage on the bottom, or if they're gonna respect the Medusa respawning in 20 seconds.
I think they are in such a comfortable spot now, no need to force any issue. You were even mentioning, you know, Chalice, how massive he is in this game. He almost has his Aghanims finished after all this, and yeah, we're seeing this again. Look at Kaka, like fresh BKB, has nothing to worry about. FBZ's like trying to walk in and Ravage and all that, but everyone's BKB'd, then he gets linked to the Lina. So it's just, yeah, it's too hard for him to go for any target if RNG is the one that start the fight like that. And it's tough, right, Boom? Like, they didn't want to start fight because they're still into an Aegis, so didn't want to commit the Ravage. And yeah, the Tricore continues to scale for RNG. Ag's about to be done for Chalice.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Medusa needs one big item. I saw her going for Butterfly. Still very far away from it. And also didn't get any levels in the last, like, when you mentioned level 20 talent, that was like 6-7 minutes ago.
Yeah, he has not been getting much. He has committed for a BKB just because of the crazy amount of control that they do have. So wants to be able to stand inside that without being just hexed and stunned, etc. So he can actually get a single attack off. But RNG, they're ready to fight. Everything's back available for them, and they're not giving Boom any opportunity to even enter.
Templar Assassin bought the book, got level 25 from this. So refraction instances. That's very bad. I thought this talent is gonna get nerfed.
I thought it was gonna get removed, I gotta be honest. I thought it was gonna get made with something else, because it's crazy how it's just a double. It's a positive and it's like a defensive and a offensive benefit, just because you get the both of them. Yeah, it's crazy talent.
I just deal 13 instances of damage to her, and then she uses it again, and that's like 26, and she can always blink out. Chalice, a jump to go in. Manta style and the BKB, now the Scotty. Let's see the slow grip.
Cancelled.
It's thrown back, but it got canceled. FPZ is ready with the Ravage, so they need to leave Chalice alone. They're gonna leave X-Nova as well, so big fight for Boom.
And it's a gem also, so they're gonna be able to recover their gem. Quick reaction from Jackie with the Manta plus BKB. Nicely done, and little things that we did see come into play there is the Bane Fiend's Grip. He just puts down a Psionic Trap and insta-cancels it. Such a crazy, like, or Banes. Like, how do you even play support versus this, right? Like, just easy cancels, but they do get the big kills. So, good stuff from Jackie. Felt like they needed that.
Oh, there's a gem on the ground there.
You didn't see it?
Tier 2 tower, a little bit down. Never mind. It got picked up by a courier. Okay,
okay,
all good. I just saw it on the ground. It's the one in the base, I believe. Kaka's courier did get killed in the end. They need an extra item on Medusa. They need levels on her. They need this split shot uses modifiers, because you do have Scotty. And a lot of the times he was just farming whatever was like coming close to the base with Manta style. That's why he's a little bit under-leveled.
Yeah. They are getting a moment though. Getting some good structural damage with that DK being dead.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So, little chunk of gold too. I think the Lina now, Yopaj is about to have Shiva's done. So as we said, the very unorthodox build, but trying to adapt to the scenario. Map control is still a problem, even though now, as we said, they have the gem. There's just traps aplenty. Now they're starting to clean that up, and they will find a DD. This could be huge. Ravage is up. DD, do they have a smoke on them? No, but they have a smoke coming on the courier. But look at the waves. They need to deal with their side lanes first.
So they gave double damage to Lina. Like, maybe they could have given bottle to Medusa.
She still, if Yopaj is left alone to right click.
Oh, look at these two items. Sorry, Fogged. Spell Prism and Timeless Relic. You have Shaman and Storm, so they can decide like what they want to get. It's just two insane items.
Surprised they... Okay, Somnus doesn't want the Timeless when he's got Refresher, Vortex, Aghanim's. That's a little weird. I thought he would take the Timeless Relic over Spell Prism, but... Okay.
He gets priority, but since it's Kaka, he doesn't. Kaka's
okay,
like, well, longer duration shackles and hexes.
I feel like this just increases his damage output so much more on the Storm.
Yes.
So a little weird to see them having that reversal of neutral items, but either way, pointing out that Somnus does have Refresher. So we have the two gigantic pulls that can be coming out, and Butterfly is finished on Jackie. He committed. Boom is looking to fight. Yopaj with the DD, as you mentioned. Who catches who? Oh. Creep. It'll see Chalice.
Easy clap. Misses, but still scouts things out. Bottom lane. Drawn a line, what needs to be done by Tidehunter and third Roche. What's on Roche? Is it Ags or is it Refresher? Oof. I think it's better. Having Shaman and also Storm. I think you give it to Shaman this time around. Double. Just have double snakes, and I think he's also close to Eon Disc, so...
They gave it to Somnus. So triple. Triple Vortex.
Maybe it's time to swap the items now, the neutral ones.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Because like it gives him the duration, it gives him everything. The debuff, the spell damage, but whatever. They give him the tome, so Somnus, I think that's gonna be almost just enough to push him to 25 too.
I will need a little bit more, I'd say.
Just a tiny bit, yeah. So next wave almost should give it to him. Boom, still all rallied together. Like we said, where Medusa goes, we go. So they just have to keep playing right next to her.
It's the whole squad behind Medusa, pretty much. Level 23. Flicker on Medusa.
She needs to get these... It's important, though, like you were mentioning. She needs the level. It's like the 25 is really important. And the fact that they're all still huddled together, they kind of have to do this. They are getting under-leveled. Yopaj 22, Dusa 23, while the opposing side, they have gotten significant Roches in a couple big fights, but they have two 25s.
What's the Grimstroke's item progression this game?
He wants the Ags, but he's getting pretty close to it.
Finished off the lens and going into Ags. I mean, it's one of the better Ags. Maybe Medusa kills it because of the split shot, but still very good. Like if you can dish him out any kind of damage.
Tim's the jump, the Somnus, he gets the pull onto 2, he gets it on the Dusa. Ghost will be able to clean up Tim's Jackie. Now onto Ghost. Ghost dropping low very quickly. Chalice jumping into Force FBZ, a beautiful Blink Ravage, catches it, frame perfect, I think. No BKB able to use. Ghost pops it right before he dies. Kaka tries to get a catch. Somnus will get another pull, but the Stone Gaze will prevent them from doing much. Chalice gets Stone Gazed, will get brought down.
I can't believe how good Boom is at taking fights with disadvantage. Like they're 10k gold down, they have like free refreshers, and they still win these fights. Because what they did is they used this Shadow Amulet on Tidehunter. They hid him underneath the tower, and then he, as you said, like frame perfect on Templar Assassin respawning. Ravage connects. And this is gonna be a lot of levels. I think Jackie hit almost level 25 and has 6,000 gold.
I'd have to actually see the replay a little bit. We're gonna maybe wait for that in a second, but I think Yopaj also baited them. I think he popped his illusion rune and sent his illusion rune on high ground. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the DK and maybe even one other hero went for that illusion. I'd have to re-see it all because I was looking more at like where the Aegis was, but I saw some weird stuff happening with an illusion and a DK form. So onto high ground, 7,000 gold now on this Dusa.
7,000 gold lead as well for RNG. Storm will go in, pops the BKB, Nightmare save, does not connect with the Inkswell stun. They drop the wards and Sam is going in, connects on the 3, but seems like they're still not ready to fight. Jackie's still alive.
After the wards.
It's a lot of damage from the wards. Storm and has 0 mana now, so they can't really reinitiate. Oof, a bit of a rough
sold
one.
his boots as well. He sold his boots to pick up the Ags. So that was the Dark Portrait as well coming into play a little.
That's where the damage came from. I was really worried, like, what the hell is going on? Kind of hard to see it because it's a bit darker and it's just... okay, so full MKB as well on Templar Assassin. She does not have boots.
Oh, I mean, that could hurt, right? Look, we saw that last situation when she was walking in. One hit, and it could just prove to be her demise if she's not sticking on a target. 60 seconds now, though. Dusa dead, looking to try to force something, maybe force a buyback if possible, but we see Tim's already forcing out top, and they still do have a tier 2 in the top lane, so they're pinging bottom.
"40 seconds without Medusa." Jackie does have buyback. He definitely does not want to use it, so they might just say, whatever, we will lose a tower. We might lose tower plus barracks if RNG wants to commit, but yeah, they're respecting this.
I think they should respect it after like that last situation too, right? FBZ's very good at setting up these ravages, and as you mentioned, Boom, very good at playing even from behind to get these big team fights, so yeah, RNG, I think respect given where respect is earned. Scam. He's scouting right now with this smoke. I think he caught a glimpse of Somnus for a second. Either one of these would be huge. Oh my god, look at Ghost. Look at his positioning.
Ghost does, I mean, we said Ghost doesn't have boots. Like, this could be really problematic, especially against Scotty. This is also not Templar Assassin that has Aghanim Scepter that can go back and forth in the fight, maybe like reset inside the base, come back to one of the traps. So might be difficult.
He also, that was actually a pretty big play he just did. Even though it was so risky him being in that position, he killed the courier with the refresher recipe from FBZ. And FBZ, if you look at his gold, he actually has just enough for the refresher on this tide. So delaying that refresher for about 3 minutes, potentially, pretty big but risky move from Ghost.
If it was a different situation and you know that like Roche is spawning, if you have enough gold, you can buy another recipe and then sell it once your courier is back up.
Yeah, but he'd have to go back to base.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough
as well
gold.
too. So you know, it's a big move. So we're getting close to, as we mentioned, Dusa now 25. So we've got the split modifiers with the Scotty. Also, he committed gold for a Silver Edge. So better positioning. Also able to break the DK. Even I mean, Storm too could hurt a little bit. Any other big levels? I keep looking at Kaka. He's only level 19. He's very close to that 20, that Hex break that we keep mentioning versus Tide. That could be huge. I didn't see anything else too big that was picked up just yet. I keep seeing lots of Shadow Blades picked up, and Somnus is sitting on 6,000 gold. I guess that's the other biggest highlight.
Chalice has full AC. And level 24, and he's the one holding the Timeless Relic for now. Okay. Longer duration stun, longer duration disarm from Heaven's Halberd. Feels nice.
All right. I mean, it's still very interesting that Somnus really wants to just keep the spell prison, but because the stats and everything too are beneficial. But
yeah, he wants to lower the cooldown on his ulti. And passive. It's not passive anymore.
That's true.
1 minute until Courier respawns for Tidehunter. That's what Boom is waiting for. Like, having double Ravage is game winning, so I don't think they want to engage. Last time they were here, they lost the fight because they jumped Jackie, they used Shaman, Hex initiation with the wards, so I want them to fall back into the base a little bit.
Yeah, they still have to be careful, but it's like initiations are still massive. I'm seeing them carrying both gems. I actually like this. Tims and Scam are making sure that they can keep tabs of where the traps are in most of the fights. I think this is actually pretty appropriate with this type of game, how important vision is, how important the jump really is. Kaka has hit 20, and he has taken the Hex break as expected. So things to keep tabs on. Tims, they're trying to get a little more information, poking their head out. They have this ward that was placed. This is a damn good
refresher. It's a really happy. Yeah. First game, 60 minutes, really back and forth, really even. 3 seconds until Courier respawns for Tidehunter. Oof. It's coming out. I can see something moving in the base.
Portrait zoning them away a little bit, but as we see, that's the one thing. It's like Medusa Portrait's just not the best, sadly. It's not like a Morphling or some type of like Jug or some crazy. As the smoke, RNG.
Roche is alive. This is 4th Roche. So far, RNG did manage to kill all 3 Roshans. They got all the benefits from it.
There was a nerf, but there is a Harpy Scout. It's going to get cleaned up by Somnus. The jump on the north side, Chalice will find the Bane. They'll take out Scam before the fight. Yopaj also uses BKB defensively on the retreat. That will be a gem picked up. And Roche, as you mentioned, it's up. They kill it so fast.
It seems like there's not going to be any reaction. It's a little bit too slow from Boom. They did scan, but Roshan will die.
Look at Somnus.
He's in. He's trying to make... He tried to bait something.
Yeah. He wanted to keep abusing regen, but I think one of those illusions actually clipped him for a second. They make a dark portrait of the illusion. Did it get stolen? No, the Inkswell did. But a big pickup because
RP Scout still alive. I mean, as you said, it's nerfed, but still providing decent amount of vision and also consuming a little bit more mana. So having Helmet the Dominator is just not enough to have perma-flying.
All right, here we go. Get a pause coming out right before the 50-minute mark. We see bottom is pushing in. Oof, okay, so who's got what? Let's see. Shadow Shaman took the both, by the way. He took actually 3 things. The synth, the refresher shard, and the cheese.
Because he needs mana for it. It's 550. He has double Eon Disc, double BKB. If they decide to go for this like one last push in a minute while the wards are back up, this is
Arcane,
very
they get
difficult.
the stun though. The Ravage, they baited Somnus onto it.
He did pick up the rune, however, didn't use it, so we'll have it. FBZ uses Refresher immediately. I love this. I love this spot. Like, they need to find people. Somnus, he does have a buyback.
Is Ghost gonna... Look at Ghost right now. Silver Edge bottom. Such a risky place to go. Or maybe this is the safest place to go. The riskiest place becomes the safest at these type of points.
That's why I love you, Fog, because you're so smart. You always make the best out of the worst situation.
Right? Like, because normally, like, maybe you want to go hit some Ancients or something, but if you're like, look at this, like, who's going to expect a TA down here, right?
No one. He's still hiding there, and they know it's being pinged out by FBZ. Something fishy is going on. 50 seconds without the Storm Spirit. Last time Jackie did this, he just straight up died. Let's see how they approach this one. Dragon Knight also ready to jump in. Shaman Ward Storm with the buyback, and they're gonna get the big zip onto 2. BKB on Lina. Jackie's just dead again, and they need to chase more. Lina, no BKB available. This is gonna be a disaster fight for Boom.
You just said it, right? He died just right there before. Exact same scenario pretty much happens. Kaka just BKBs, jumps in, grabs him, drops the wards. They commit every single spell onto him, and he does die. And, as you said, you know, they pop the refresher instantly on Kaka. He'll have the follow-up now for the next push. I think he actually popped it for the BKB, but now he'll have the wards now for this push, too. But it was a buyback.
Taking a high ground like that is just always going to be problematic against the Storm Spirit, against the Shaman Dragon Knight. Any instant initiation can make a lot of difference, and like Chalice is just massive on the Dragon Knight at the moment. They will drop the first wards.
Eats the cheese just to be able to pop it and have his spells afterwards. Has full mana now on this. The jump, the Inkswell Tide. We'll stop Chalice for a moment. The wards continue to do their thing onto the buildings. Rain tracks is dropping. Chalice will get fireballed back by Tims. The racks will go down.
There's still a tier 2 tower on the top lane, so they can't go for megas. Lina dead for 30 seconds. Boom is definitely fine with not taking this full fight.
Full arcane blink now on Somnus on the Storm Spirit. Swift blink TA hitting, as we say, critical masses.
Do we have overwhelming blink as well? Just to have all 3 of them.
Chalice might pick it up next, so we might get all 3 of the upgraded blinks on one team. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, initiation still continues to seem to be mostly everything in this game. It's like anyone who gets like that initial jump seems to be getting it, because it's like, how do you prevent them when you have all these BKBs? The way RNG is jumping when they see the Dusa is 3 or 4, I think like 4 heroes actually. 4 heroes pop BKB and everyone hits the Dusa while she's controlled. So there's nothing that they can actually do to prevent it. They can lift the Dusa and move her, but they can't actually stop them when they're BKB. To sleep on Kaka. And on disc, BKB to turn. Soulbind onto 2, but they both BKB and they actually will turn and grab Chalice.
Okay, keeping him alive, but yeah, they will get the bigger kill. They got the Chalice. Double Ravage is available. What's Medusa's next item here? Like, she can sell power treads and get a higher tier item. 5,000 gold in the bank. Does she get like Satanic, or does she get more damage? Go for Daedalus? Sorry, maybe even Divine Rapier?
Not sure, because maybe he also just is thinking the Ags, eating the Ags could also be good just for the reflected bounce back of the Snake in some situations, because they do have a lot of these targeted spells. They are always BKB'd though, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm not sure what he might go for. Maybe just as a straight, just Rapier, could be. But he's dying though, too, so I'm like, does get focused.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because like, he doesn't have Satanic, so he's not gonna say squishy because it's Medusa, but we can see if she's isolated, she just straight up dies.
Yeah. And also, I think it was quick thing, just so you don't. They don't have a glimmer. It was a trickster cloak on Kaka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was looking. I was like, wait, who? These guys? Everybody's bought kind of greedy on the side of RNG, so I was like, wait a minute. How's our buybacks all looking? Just Storm and Dusa on cooldown. Everybody else has theirs available.
Grimstroke's close to level 25. Get that Inkswell radius with the Storm Spirit. That's Ravage.
That'd be, yeah, that'd make it a lot easier for them to get some big connections. But yeah, Dusa, they're still pinging. They're like, that's the win condition if we catch her. Jackie's actually going for Lincolns. Okay, so I guess those like instant disables and stuff. If he's able to prevent one and he gets his BKB off, they can actually turn most of those situations where he's just been burst from full to 0 in the control. If he gets BKB Stone Gaze off, they'll be able to defend him.
Another long game. Last game was 61, 62 minutes. This time around 56. We're in tier 5 territory.
Oh yeah, I mean last game we didn't even get a single tier 5 because of the base race or the throne, but let's see if we do this time as smoke comes out. Harpy in position. The Ravage, they actually got a glimpse of them there. Onto 3, Refresher, catches 2. The jump from the Storm catches onto the Rubik, but Aeon Disc is popped. Jackie getting to focus fire some heroes decently. Chalice just dies instantly, he buys back. Ghost trying to get onto Yopaj. Yopaj gets away with his Silver Edge, and now Ghost, caught in the midst of everything, getting chain stunned. Will he drop down? No, gets BKB Refraction on, turns onto FBZ. Will be able to clean him up. Jackie starting to get focused fired a bit here. The Dark Portrait going to town onto him. The stun, he's getting controlled. They're on Tims as well with Kaka. Jackie's just holding his ground though versus Chalice. Do they have a stun? They do. They stop Jackie. This could be it. He does not have buyback.
He tried to TP out, but they needed to take fight around him. Maybe use the lift to try to get him out of the trouble. Like, good initiation. FBZ's positioning was really good. He gets the 3-man stun. Doesn't get the second Ravage off immediately. They did get the kill on Chalice, but Chalice is so farmed. He does have his buyback, and now 100 seconds without Medusa. Without Medusa, they just don't have enough damage. And 5 heroes inside of RNG. Roshan could potentially spawn in 5 seconds. There is no trap inside the pit, but they are taking the buildings. Very cool name for the buildings, calling them buildings.
Yep, the break onto Chalice. Yopaj tries to go for one line of play here. BKB is forced. Defensive lead resets, but Tim's, he's going to be the one that's caught. He does have a buyback. Will be forced to use it. Yopaj getting focused. Will die, also has a buyback. Tim's, oh, I think he just threw himself.
Yeah.
Whoopsie. Chalice, as well as Ghost, just focusing onto the throne. Pull onto Yopaj, he'll get brought down. No buyback, as we mentioned. And that should be it, RNG. Bring it back to a 1-1 here, and they're gonna clean up the throne.
Yeah, they drop down the wards, just nothing they can do without Medusa. It's a very long 40 seconds. Throne is just gonna drop. Good showing from RNG. Yeah, Boom's lineup relied on being 5-man strong, moving around the map. One of the reasons why they did get a little bit out-farmed. RNG, they're very strong in the pick-off department with the Shadow Shaman, with the Storm Spirit, so they can go and like choose where they want to fight. But yeah, I think even though RNG won, we gotta give credit to how Boom played this game, considering like what went wrong for them, especially like with the lineup being super slow, and also a bit of a different itemization overall coming out from Lina. Kaka, I don't know if you want to ban Shaman or if you want to ban Lion, because this man, you know, anything that has a Hex, he's gonna play it.
Yeah, and they did get a lot of these like big initiations, and they did get that map control. Yeah, Boom playing from behind the whole game and still making it very competitive, a really impressive showing. But on to game 3 we go. I think everybody's happy about this since this is the best series that we've had so far. And in a few minutes, we're going to have the analysts break it down.